Howdy folks, hope you're all having a great weekend, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where having just found Lord Liechtenstein and learned that Hans is probably being held at the fortress of Malinshov, I immediately decided to start doing some side quests. Hans will be fine, he's a nobleman, he'll be well looked after. So, the Bleeding Heart Commies of the Bohemian People's Popular Liberation Front down at the Hole and Wall pub. Not actually their organisation's real title, by the way, but hey, if they look like commies, sound like commies, and smell like commies, they may as well be commies. Their leader, Comrade Cherniak, is very interested in some thieves' signs that have been observed scattered around Kuttenberg, and it'd be useful for the cause to find out exactly what they mean. Now, one of the other organisation members, who goes by the name of Hogg, has already been dispatched on a lead to investigate the nature of these thieves' signs, but he hasn't reported back in a while, so I've been sent to, well, just make sure everything's going according to plan. I'm going to be absolutely amazed if everything's going according to plan. Well, this is the place. Shit.
Who's there? Oh, just you. Corva, you really startled me there. You've got to help me.
Hogg, you were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. This is Hinek, by the way, the fellow that Hogg was sent to question. That's question, Hogg. Question. Not beat to death. I suppose I better have a word and find out what happened.
What the fuck happened here?
Well, he had a fall.
A fall? He just fell over all on his own and ended up like this?
On his own, honest to God. Fell over and died right before my eyes.
Oh, Jesus. Tell me everything from the beginning.
Well, Cherniak sent me to go and ask about them symbols. Polite like. Only this bastard started fucking with me.
And what happened next?
He was laughing in my face, giving me all sorts of riddles. So I lost it and gave him a bit of a slap. Only he caught another one from the table on the way down and it ended up like this.
Cherniak had a hunch this might happen. Did you find out anything about the symbols, at least, before this?
When I start seeing red, I don't ask no questions.
Do you remember anything, at least? Anything?
He talked to me in riddles. So I tell him I ain't no little kid, and to talk to me normal like.
And then?
When he saw the smoke coming out of my ears, he said he'd show me some important parchment, but that annoyed me even more. Do I look like a fucking scribe?
Was there something written on it?
Well, how should I know? I gave him a slap, and that was that. Take a look at it yourself. I reckon you got a better head on you.
That would be the letter that I retrieved from the body. The game wouldn't let me look at it until I'd spoken to Hogg first, but I should be able to read it now. Here we go. A vineyard in the town. Strange, but who knows, and yet there it is, quite nearby, by the water that gushes. Now listen and try to keep your eyes open so that you can tell. Shortly after the midday bell, you'll find us where the shadow goes. Yeah, if you're a bit dim-witted and short-tempered, I can see why you might think somebody was fucking with you if they read this to you. Oh well.
So, did you read it?
Yes, but unfortunately for you, it's another riddle.
Oh, Pradella!
Something about a vineyard and running water. I can't make much sense of it.
The bastard! He's fucking with us, even from beyond the grave!
Well, it's our only lead to find out anything about the symbols.
Oh, I don't have the noggin for this shit, Henry. Cherniak has the quickest wit of all of us. If you can't crack it, you can ask him. But please, don't tell him nothing about me. You won't come up with nothing new.
There's no point in dropping Hog in the shit with Chenyek. I mean, Hog's Hog. Chenyek should have damn well known better. You don't send a hammer to solve a problem that needs a lockpick. Right, anyway, so there is a vineyard just outside of Kuttenberg. I mean, a vineyard is the first thing that the riddle mentioned, so that's the first place I'm going to look. It's just here, right outside the walls to the north of the city. Here we go. Well, at least I think it's a vineyard. I mean, it looks like a vineyard on the map. And I know what a modern vineyard looks like, but I've got no idea what a medieval vineyard looks like. I mean, I'm not seeing any grapes. I might be in 100% the wrong place. Also, it said a vineyard in the town, not a vineyard outside the town. I mean, you could argue that this is the Kuttenberg vineyard, but... oh, I don't know. Also, they said that where the water gushes by, I mean, there's a moat here, but it's not flooded. It couldn't be flooded. It's on a hillside. The whole thing slopes downhill. You couldn't flood it if you tried. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm in the right place. I mean, it might not actually be referring to a literal vineyard. This could all just be a metaphor for something. I mean, it's a riddle. It's not a precise instruction. I think I might have to head back to the hole in the wall and have a word with Comrade Cherniak and see if he can help. No shame in asking for help, after all. I mean, he knows Kuttenberg better than I... Wait, is this closed? No, we're good. Wow. Oh, okay. I mean, it is very early, but he is here, so all good.
Have a nice day, Henry.
Hinnock gave Hog a peculiar riddle, and we can't quite figure it out.
Old Greaser was known for those. Tell me then, what did he say?
A vineyard in the town. Strange, but who knows? And yet there it is, quite nearby, by the water that gushes. Now listen and try to keep your eyes open so that you can tell. Shortly after the midday bell, you'll find us where the shadow goes.
Sounds pretty mixed up to me. A vineyard. I only know the one outside of town, but Riddle mentions one inside of it. It must be something similar to a vineyard, and the part with the water might be a well? Or maybe a fountain?
Well, thanks. I'll see what I can do.
Now, there is actually a fountain in Kuttenberg. But there definitely is not a vineyard inside the town, but there are a couple of gardens. Here's the fountain. It's by the West Gate. Oh, and it's on Vintners Street. So it's on the Wine Merchant Street. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So I'm going to fast travel to the West Gate, which should be right next to the fountain. There it is. What's the town crier going on about?
That a new one-off tax is to be levied in the city. I know that times are hard and none of us has much
Fountain?
to spare, but
Where does the
look
water
around.
come from? Here,
Crime
in the
of
middle
all
of the city.
kinds is surging.
So, this is the fountain. Don't worry, Henry, it's not magic, it's plumbing. It's been around since the
Sellers of
Romans.
worthless tat who
Actually,
find
here we go. Historical fact of the day. A plumber. Somebody who takes care of the water pipes in your house.
to strengthen
Do
our
you know where the word
defences
comes
and
from?
protect
Plumbing?
you and your neighbours
Lead
from
on the
names
periodical
that
table of
will
elements has the symbol PB, which comes from the
tax will
Latin word for lead, plumbum, because the Romans used lead pipes in their plumbing, which is why it's called plumbing. The riddle said, wait right until after the midday sun. I'm looking for a shadow. Which way does the shadow of the fountain point after midday? I mean, it's not going to be a particularly long shadow because midday is when the sun's at its highest, which is why it said shortly after midday. Maybe I have to wait a bit longer. I mean, the shadow is kind of short, but it looks like it's pointing towards that building with the red windows. Let's take a look. What is this shop anyway?
Did he get
Like a
here?
wine merchant or a general store or something?
Worried that something happened.
I hope nobody's going to get too excited if I start poking around the back. Only one way to find out. Oh, yeah, no, he doesn't like that. Okay, now don't mind me, I'm just here about the plumbing. Alright, door's not locked. Get in, shut the door. Out of sight, out of mind. It's like a torch. Start poking around. Seeing what we can see. That door looks suspicious.
Nobody's opened this door in ages.
Yep. All cobwebbed up. Hasn't been opened in months. Very hard lock as well. That's suspicious, isn't it? Where does this lead? I mean, I'm assuming the thieves' underground. Oh.
It's pretty musty in here. This is no regular cellar.
Well, not immediately into the thieves' underground, but this is apparently an old thieves' hideout, which will probably lead to the thieves' underground, but I'm looking for clues. Help me decipher. Aha, here we go.
This must be it.
Jackpot. Parchment with drawings, which are hopefully going to decode the thief symbols that we've seen scattered around Kuttenberg and let us know exactly what they mean. So, where is it? Parchment with... There it is. Jackpot. So, these drawings correspond to markings on the walls of buildings around Kuttenberg, letting you know what's good and what's not good about those buildings. Like, for example, there's no loot here, indicated by one of these drawings. Oh, I like this one. With loot in your pockets, you can't go to market. Best find a buyer. So this one's going to indicate a fence who'll buy stolen goods. This is all great stuff. Now, do I take it straight to Chenyek? Or do I let Knuckles make a copy first for a bit of extra cash? Actually, you know, while I'm here, there was some other unread stuff. Strange little verse. A proper scholar is curious. On Vintner's Street there stand two Marys tall and grand. The first to the south is gazing, the second to the east is facing, but neither is aware. They are not on dry land there. In one pipe take a peek for the wet beads that you seek. Well, I'm here on Vintner's Street anyway. Let's see if I can solve this riddle while I'm here. I just have to sneak out of this shop without getting... I mean, I'm technically trespassing, but they don't just arrest you instantly. They shout at you first, give you a chance to clear off. So let's just do exactly that.
Who is it?
Oh, shit. Oh, busted.
Hey! You can't just walk around here without permission.
Well, yeah, I'm here about your rat problem. Don't worry, it's all taken care of. I'll just see myself out.
It happens.
And yeah, we should be fine. Okay, so this riddle. We're on Vintner's Street. We're talking about two Marys who weren't on dry land. Hello. Well, that's a Virgin Mary, and she's not on dry land. Which way is she facing? Facing to the south. Said there were two of them, though. And they were talking about pipes? Where's the other? I mean, that is definitely a statue of a Virgin Mary up there. And it's not on dry... Oh, wait a minute. Pipes. The fountain. Is that... It's even marked with a thieves' sign.
There's something here.
Bingo. So what does this one say? Just need to find it first. Here on the north wall top, Sir Knight Pale von Bucket guarded the growing hops. Now a shaft is all he can look at. The north wall top, Sir Knight Pale von Bucket. So a pail's another word for a bucket. guarded the growing hops. So the north wall... Ah... That place I thought was a vineyard. They're not growing grapes, they're growing hops. Up there on the north wall. What's that? Protector of Kuttenberg. It's a point of interest. Knight Pale von Bucket. I mean, that's the place that I thought was the vineyard, just outside of town. It is on the north wall, and it didn't look like grapes. Apparently, they're growing hops. Let's check out that point of interest. Must be on the outside of the wall. I'm not seeing anything in here. You know, I think I've actually been here before, but I didn't notice anything remarkable about it the first time. There he is. Knight Pale von Bucket. And the only thing you can see is a shaft, which will be the arrow shaft. And there's strange little verse number 3. Okay, so where's this one going to lead? Where is it? There we go. Right. Proper scholar is aware of time, grinding by day and by night, in winter dark and summer bright, with his golden needle. Eden scratches at the 6th, you'll see then, where the knowledge tree rises from the ground, there your virtues can be found. Eden. Why is that highlighted? Hang on a minute. There's a Garden of Eden in Kuttenberg. It's a point of interest. I've seen it. There it is. It's just off the town square. And there's a fast travel point, so we can be there in no time. Right. Which way was it? East, I think? Yes, east. So just down here and past my lodgings. I've been here before, apparently, because it's registered as a point of interest on the map. Ah, right, not quite that way. And it's coloured in, which means I've actually been there before. So it's this little garden on the other side of that wall. How do I get in? I can't remember. Apparently I have been in here before, but I don't remember... Because it's a private garden. You're not really supposed to be in there. Oh, here we go. Right, nobody looking? Let's have this lock. And we're in. Shut the door. Oh, crap. Oh. Okay. I mean, this is someplace I'm not supposed to be, but the gardener doesn't appear to be too bothered. So let's check out the verse, because I'm pretty sure I'm in the right place. Grinding by day and by night, winter dark and summer bright, with his golden needle, Eden scratches at the 6th. You'll see then where the knowledge tree rises from the ground, there your virtues can be found. Golden needle. Is that a reference to a sundial? No idea. And what does he mean the 6th? Is that reference to a time? Is there a sundial in here? Let's have a look around.
That's beautiful. Like the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, it is a nice place. I'm not... Oh, I've pissed off the dog. Who's a good boy? Good doggy. Yeah, the dog knows I'm not supposed to be here. Alright. I best make myself scarce. I'm not convinced I'm in the right place, because there's nothing in here but the gardener and his dog. Now, I've got to be honest, I'd be lying if I said that I figured this one out for myself. I did have to go and look it up. But this whole Garden of Eden thing is just a bit of a red herring. It's not the only Garden of Eden reference in Kuttenberg, and the other one is in fact right near the town square. In fact, it's on the town square. This whole Eden's golden needle scratching at the 6th is actually a reference to the town hall clock. If you have a look at the minute hand of the town hall clock, you'll see that it's covered in gold leaf. This is the golden needle that the verse is talking about, and when it's pointing to the 6th, that's the Garden of Eden that it's actually pointing to, which is kind of confusing because it's also sort of the same direction of the garden that we just came from, which is known as the Garden of Eden here in town, but it's not the Garden of Eden that the verse is talking about. Down here, on the wall, see? There it is. There's Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. That's what the verse is referring to. Yeah, I know, it's a bit obscure. I don't know who it was who figured this one out for themselves the first time around, but whoever they are, well done. And there it is. And it's another riddle. Oh, great. Fine, okay. So where does this one lead? Strange little verse number 4. The imperial crown without a doubt cannot a bird's nest be, for everyone will wonder what's this for majesty. But when there's nowhere left to try, and birds must build their nests on high, which is highlighted, let it at least a kingfisher's be, a sparrow's is not what we want to see. Okay, I understand the first part of this one. They're talking about the imperial crown, not the king's crown, the emperor's crown. So they're referring to the Holy Roman Emperor. And there's only one Holy Roman Emperor in Kuttenberg, and that's the Emperor Charles Tavern, and I know where that is. And here we are. Now, the thing about the King Charles...
Sir?
Who do you think? Don't you have any work to
Do you two mind? I'm trying to solve a riddle here. So, the clue here, let's pull the riddle up again, is the bit that's highlighted in red. Birds must build their nest on high. Now, the thing about the Emperor Charles Tavern is the tallest building on the street. It's got one floor more than every building next to it. Well, except for that one over there on the far right, but nobody saw that, right? Look, I didn't write the riddle. So, apparently you can get this from the street if you've got good aim. But otherwise you basically have to climb up to the top floor of the tavern. And you're looking for a bird's nest in the window right at the top. I'm not entirely sure what the relevance was of the last verse in the riddle, going on about make sure it's a kingfisher and not a sparrow, because kingfishers don't make their nests in cities. Sparrows do. They might have thrown it in there to try to draw you off track, because the bathhouse in Kuttenberg is actually called the Kingfisher. But no, that's just a red herring. This is where you need to be. Also, when you make it to the top of the stairs, don't do what I just did, and make sure you're facing in the correct direction, because yep, there are 2 sides to the Emperor Charles Tavern, and there are 2 extremely high windows, but one of them looks out over the walls. You want the one that's actually looking out over the street that you got here by, because that right up there is the bird's nest that you need to knock down. So you're going to have to crouch to do this and then toss a stone. Technically you can do this from the street if your aim is particularly good, but I honestly couldn't even see the bird's nest from down in the street. I'm having a bugger of a time actually hitting it. There we go. And then back down to the street and hope nobody else picked it up before I get there. There it is. Hands off you. It's mine. Oh god, not another one. I thought this was going to be the end. Okay. These riddles are getting harder. So what's this one? St. George has struck with the deadly sword, the dragon writhes and spills its blood, but St. George is not done yet. Beneath his helm he turns his head. He fixes his gaze towards the east, where there spawns another beast. This dragon, though, is set on stone. In its throat, to your aid, a window will come. I have definitely seen a statue of St. George, and I think it was around the town square. Well, not a statue exactly, more like a... I don't even know what you'd call it. Well, like the Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden thing that we saw earlier, like a... not a mural, like some kind of stone carving, mounted on one of the walls of one of the buildings around the Kuttenberg town square. Definitely seen it. You know, in general, it does pay to look up every now and then when you're wandering around Kuttenberg, because there's some really good stuff on the walls, some amazing art on the walls of these buildings. above street level. In fact, you know, that's a generally decent rule of thumb for wandering around any European city even today. Because at ground level, they all look the same. At street level, every European city looks the same. It's all steel, glass and concrete. You can't tell whether you're in France, Germany, Italy, Britain, whatever. You have to look up above street level to get the character of the town that you're in. Is that Saint? That's not St. George. He's generally depicted with the dragon, so you know it's St. George. But yes, try it, even in your own home city. Just look up every now and then. Get an idea of the character of the city that you'll live in. Because you won't get it at ground level. They all look the same. Got to be something around here.
Last chance.
Nothing so far. Maybe I've gone too far north. Yeah, there's nothing up here. Oh wait, what's that? Oh, I thought... Oh, hang on. There it is, St. George, killing the dragon. Facing to the east, exactly as described in the riddle. Beneath his helm he turns his head, he fixes his gaze towards the east, where there spawns another beast. This dragon, though, from rock is made, and in its throat a window will come to your aid. It's getting a bit dark, I'd best light a torch. I don't want to get into trouble with the city watch. I mean, even though the market is still open, it might just be dark because it's overcast and raining, but hey, let's not get into any unnecessary trouble. So, if we go back and look once again at the painting of St. George, and just face east, which is the direction that he was looking, this archway, right here, is the stone dragon's throat. And in the stone dragon's throat, there is a window. Actually, there are two, and your clue's in one of them. Well, it's not so much a clue as your final reward. 2 skill books, Master's Studies and on the Composition of Alchemy. Depending on how far you are through the game, when you actually stumble across this puzzle, it's entirely possible that you may have already found these skill books elsewhere and read them. If that's the case, they are both worth 300 groschen each. Now then, I believe I have to report back to Comrade Cherniak. Something about these thieves' codes.
Greetings. What brings you here so early in the morning?
Now, because I didn't go to Knuckles first and let him make a copy of the code, I do have the option of dropping him in the shit with Cherniak, but what would be the point?
I've deciphered the meaning of the symbols.
Fantastic! How do you manage that?
Well, it was pretty confusing. But in the end, I managed to find the old thieves' hideout.
And what about Hog?
Again, I could drop him in the shit, but what's done is done, and it's better to have friends than enemies.
He helped me find it. In his own way.
Great! He may be thick as a fence post, but his heart's in the right place.
All the symbols are on this parchment.
Let me see. I'll copy them. These will come in handy. Imagine the look on Sigismund's face when his rich friends in the city start running out of silver.
Right on, comrade.
Here they are. I'm glad I could help.
Tunnel markings. Great! And I saw this symbol for riches on the house right next door. You can go and check it out if you want.
Do you have any more work for me?
Not just now, but something's coming. I'll send for you when the time's right.
And because Comrade Cherniak took his own copy and left me with the original, that means you can still take the original back to Knuckles and still get paid for letting him make his own copy. And thus concludes another 2 side quests in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Plenty more where these came from. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.